So apparently I wasn't aware that in my last video there were going to be 4 parts to this case. Anyway, what's going on, guys? This is Noire walkthrough case 17 part 3 where we left off. We were just about to enter the Insta-Heat factory. So now let's enter and let's talk to this receptionist.
LAPD detectives, ma'am. We need to speak to someone in charge.
I see. Well, duty manager for today is Mr. Rasick. You should find him in his office.
Alright, so now that we have found out the manager, let's go talk to this Ivan Rasick. So let's head through the door over here, and then you'll see him through the glass window. There is Mr. Rasick.
Detective Phelps and Biggs, arson. We're investigating a couple of house fires. What can you tell us about this?
Pressure regulator from a Model 70, yeah. Let me take a look. We have a problem. This has been tampered with.
What?
You see this diaphragm? It forms a seal across the saddle here. Gas flows across from here to here. The diaphragm regulates flow. It's been reversed. It's a subtle change, but it means the gas never closes off properly.
Okay, great. So, the first question for Mr. Rasick is about the Insta-Heat Model 70.
So you're telling me that this is not a manufacturing fault or service repair?
I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with the design.
Now, he seemed a little bit unsure when he was talking and now afterwards, so that'll be doubt.
You're telling me that you've never had any problems with this heater?
Look, we've changed the design since the Model 70.
These things are still being installed?
It's the demand. None of us could keep up with the amount of housing going up. At the budget end, we're still using some of the old stock. We are installing 100 heaters a week. They're not all faulty.
They're not all safe either.
Alright, our final question for Mr. Rasick is heater service history.
Are these diaphragms prone to failure?
They tend to go after a while. The rubber lasts quite a few years and then it perishes.
So the guys' names that I've been seeing doing the repairs on the heaters, they're fully licensed and accredited.
Sure, of course they are.
Now, by the looks of the answer, you'd probably pick doubt, but we do have some evidence on our hands, so we can say that he's lying.
I think you're lying, Rasick. I think some of your men aren't fully licensed. You're desperate to cover your sales.
And how are you going to prove that, Detective? Name me one of my guys who would have overlooked a fault like this.
Now, for the evidence, you can either pick heater service by Ryan or heater service by Varley. They both end up in the same situation, so for now, we're just going to go with heater service by Ryan.
What about Matthew Ryan?
You know about Ryan, huh? All right, he's been in some trouble, I know that. He's done his time.
You in the habit of hiring criminals, Rasick?
I need guys, Detective. This boom is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
I want you to get me a copy of the list of your installers.
Okay, I'll get it for you. There, around a dozen of them. Fuck you. Housing business is going crazy at the moment.
This is a long shot. We are not going to roust that whole list.
I want to run it by R&I, cross-reference for arsonists. See if any of these guys have any previous. Sir, I need to use your phone.
Go right ahead.
Alright, so now we must get off this chair here, and now we shall talk to R&I using the telephone.
Operator, give me dispatch.
Putting you through now.
You want a face full of knuckles?
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need to know if any of the following names have a previous criminal history.
Okay, Detective, run the names.
Acevedo Ernesto, Clemens Walter, Elgram John, Gable Leroy, Kelligrew Peter, Cutner Robert, Limehouse Albert, Manning Franklin, Neves Raymond, O'Brien Thomas, Ryan Matthew, Spurgeon William, Varley Reginald, Zurich Stephen.
Clemens Walter, previous conviction for arson and malicious damage. Burned down a house in Westwood in 1942. 4-year jail term.
Thanks.
Ryan Matthew, charged for contempt of court, attempted murder, plea bargain down to assault charge.
Anyone else?
There is a Reginald Varley wanted for murder by Detroit Police Department.
Thanks. You've been a big help, young lady.
Slow down.
Your employment roster is quite the rogues gallery, Mr. Rasick. Desperate times indeed.
And now let us talk to Mr. Rasick to get more information.
Do you have an address for Clemens?
He's working on an apartment building on Catalina and 3rd.
What about Ryan?
Currently working at a housing development on Normandy and 1st Street.
Varley, where is he?
Beverly and Mariposa, currently working on a new housing development. Hey, Varley's a good guy. You can't harass all my people.
These guys have lockers.
Yes, they do, but my men have a right to some privacy. Don't you need a warrant or something?
Show him and keep quiet.
Okay, so now let us follow Mr. Rasick to some of the lockers that we have over there.
Here. Happy
Yes,
now?
we're very happy, thank you. First, let us check Walter's locker. Walter Clemens, which is the 3rd one in the first set of lockers. And you find this.
Clemens is a fellow traveler.
Alright, now let us look at Matthew Ryan's locker, which is just here. And you'll see there's a whole bunch of these.
Some light reading on the merciless capitalist machine. Ryan wants the world to be a better place, don't we all?
And now if you go into Varley's locker, you'll find some more or less interesting stuff in there.
The company went through thousands of these in the war. Still got eaten alive. Varley has a problem with bugs.
You know that a mosquito coil takes an hour to burn down, Rasick?
No, I didn't know that.
It's the favorite choice of ignition by arsonists. Gives them time to get away.
You're crazy. He probably lives near the canals in Venice. Mind if I leave you to it? I got work waiting.
Alright, so now that we're done here, we can finally go to Clemens, Ryan, or Varley's work site. So let's get this over with, shall we?
You should be ashamed of yourself, young man.
API Radio is a member of the American Century Broadcasting. Right around the corner is Tony.
You're behind the wheel.
Alright, so now
What do you
the
want?
first work site we shall go to is Walter Clemens.
Biggs, LAPD. We want some answers and we want them quick.
Okay, okay. What's this all about? Just tell me what you want.
Wow, he already looks like a criminal. Anyway, first question will be knowledge of Varley.
You know Reginald Varley?
No? Can't say I do.
Now in a second here, he's gonna give us the old smug look, as you can see right there, and we all know that means doubt.
Detroit PD is after Reginald Varley for murder. You want us to run you in for aiding and abetting Clemens?
Whoa, 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 whoa. All I know about Varley is he gets kickbacks from some developer. He does their work first, spreads it around if he can.
Alright, our second question will be knowledge of Ryan, not employment with Instaheat.
Do you know Matthew Ryan?
No, don't know the name.
Now we can clearly see that he's lying, and we do have some evidence, so that can prove that he's lying.
You and Ryan are fifth columnists.
And how do you figure that, wise guy? What proof do you have? Been following me to meetings?
Now in Clemens' locker we saw the anarchist pamphlets, which is also Ryan's, clearly means that he knows him.
We found a pamphlet in your locker, Clemens. We can add your name to the register. HUAC might want to interview you.
That shit was from Ryan. He's always pushing that shit on people. Drives me nuts. He's got it in for the company.
Alright, now our final question will be about the employment with Instaheat.
You were licensed and worked for Instaheat?
I contract for them. So what?
Now at first you think he's telling the truth, and then, and then that happens. And then the facial expression changes, and all of a sudden now you think it's doubt, which of course it is.
Instaheat hires arsonists, does it?
I've worked as a fitter all my life. Put everything I had into that house. And my fucking mud shark of a wife gets awarded it in settlement. She's blowing spics 2 at a time while I'm at work. And she gets the house. Yeah, I burnt it all right. Set fire to that fucker and watched it burn to the ground. I did my time and I'd do it again.
Sorry about the rouse, Clemens. You did the right thing.
All right, Clemens. You're off the hook for the moment.
Can I get back to work now?
Let's get out of here, Phelps. He ain't our guy.
Now we shall go at the bottom of the list and go to Ryan's worksite.
Are you Matthew Ryan?
Who's asking?
Detective Phelps and Biggs, arson squad.
Arson?
You heard the man.
Let's just put this stuff in the car and I'll be right with you.
Hold it, Ryan.
Son of a bitch.
Alright, so there we go. Now we're just gonna have to chase Ryan through all these neighborhood backyards and everything. Jeez. Okay, so what you want to do, obviously, you want to get on the left side of Ryan and try to ram him, or you can have Herschel try and take his tires out. Make sure you don't crash. That's I guess that's one big tip. Not really. Okay. So let's see how this plans out.
We need to take Ryan down before he hurts somebody. I need to be closer, Phelps. Enough games, Phelps. Take this guy out. Now it's not the time to play around.
He's got an arson-related assault charge and he's running.
Running don't mean nothing. We gotta get this guy in a room before we can...
Put your hands in the air! Why did you run, Ryan?
I was scared.
You got a reason to be scared, Ryan?
Matthew Ryan, I'm arresting you on suspicion of committing a series of arsons.
So, that was a rough day, I guess. We just chased down a person in an Instaheat car, and now we just have to go to the last work site and then finish the case. So, there we go, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on the last part. Goodbye.